you ever drunk Baileys from a shoe?
All right. Well, that escalated quickly. So we all said at halftime, about 5 minutes after halftime, Saturday, as the Buckeyes destroy Minnesota. We're just do a quick podcast about this one because we have to talk about it. But really, we're all focused on one thing going into this week, and it's the game. But that deserves its own podcast. We're not going to talk about those cheating MFers until then. But Jason, what were you thinking Saturday as you watch Ohio State almost have an exact replica score-wise of, especially with the way the other team scored, as we did against Michigan State the week before?
Yeah, McCord wasn't firing on all cylinders. That's the clear thing that stood out. That I winced when he got curled. That tackle right before half. I was thinking, what the heck are we doing? Like, if we're not going to try to score, why are you throwing the ball? You're just risking injury. That was like the season flashed before my eyes when that happened.
Yeah.
It was another game where I'm glad Travion escaped injury, and we're going to need him to see where we want to go this season, because he looks like he's going to carry this offense when we struggle in the air. So overall, defense was clutch again. So
Dyerwolf, what were you thinking there? As McCord's leg is getting just slammed upon, Logan Wilson style, as we just saw somebody get their season into the NFL on like the exact same hit.
Yeah. So I will say 4 o'clock games are probably the worst when you have kids.
I agree.
Because right at the end of the half, like I'm like, oh, nothing's happening here, and my kids are screaming and crap, and then I see him get tackled, and then I don't know what's going on there. And then I see him hobble off, and I'm like, oh, I was freaking out, because what were the 2 goals? There was 2 goals in this game: win the freaking game and get out healthy. And why were we doing that at the end of the half? I'm with Jason there. That pissed me off. But he seems fine. And I'm just happy we got out of there with the win. No serious injuries, I don't think, within the game. Hopefully we get all the big boys back, Tommy, Mike Hall, all those guys. But, yeah, Travion was the key. If he can look like that against Scum, I am super confident.
Hey, he looked like a Heisman guy again. Like, he's looked like that. What we've all expected, basically after his freshman year, is what he's looked like since he came back from his injury this year, and started to look like before his injury, to be honest. Especially in the Notre Dame game. Yeah, the end of the half play calling, that was Day. I mean, where I'm at with Day, I guess I'll go more into this in the Scum podcast, but kind of is what he is. I think he's a great game planner, but his play calling, it's like it doesn't grasp of the moment all the time. And that was one of those moments where, like, what are we doing? And then in the second half, he calls a freaking designed run for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's already hobbled. He can't run to begin with, so I don't see what the point of that is. Like, I had no idea what the hell they were thinking. Yeah, Travion's a beast, though. Marvin doesn't do much, but it's because, beginning of the second half, we force turnovers all of a sudden. They're fumbling. We're getting picks, and we're scoring touchdowns right away. Score 17 points in, 5 minutes. We scored the 14 in 55 seconds or something. Travion hits the home run touchdown. That's what we need. We're going to need one of those against Scum, most likely, because it's not going to be easy sledding to move the ball consistently running against them. That's why he is what we need back there, because we'll never be a consistent running team with this offensive line. They're just not good enough. Although they played, I thought, a better game than they did against Michigan State this week, and they have gotten a lot better throughout the season. But yeah, that's why we have him. But we also see another one of our running backs in, again, getting a pretty hefty workload there. So, Dyer, I'll start with you on this one. Down Hayden, baby, you're scratching your itch.
I've been calling for him all year, and correct me if I'm wrong here. They said something about it at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Leave postseason doesn't mean anything for redshirt.
So I don't know about the conference championship, though. I don't think that's part of it.
Yeah, that's where I was a little hazy on. Like, I think he can play against Scum, and that's the last game that he can play and not lose his red shirt. And then I was thinking they said every game after, like, anything in the postseason, which would include Big Ten championship, doesn't count against your red shirt. But yeah, he comes in. I mean, yards per carry weren't pop off the page, but they're better than Chip has been basically all year. He was like 4.6, I think, in limited time, but literally every single time he's explosive.
Yeah. I like seeing him in there. I think we're going to see him a considerable amount of time in the game whenever Trayvion's not in, unless it's a passing situation. Then they'll have. I mean, the problem is it'll be a tell if Chip's in the game. We're probably passing the ball. He's back there to block. Defensively, Jason, what'd you think? Another just stellar performance all around against another bad Big Ten West offense, though.
Yeah, stifling run defense forced that guy to kind of try to make plays, and Big Ten's does not have an abundance of good quarterbacks, so we really weren't threatened this whole year with quarterback play, which was I don't think it would have mattered. I think our defense is legit, so we'll see this week. But I just think the defensive line, when they're playing like that, they're going to have to make McCarthy make plays, and we'll go into that in abundance. But I just think when we get everybody healthy, this defense is pretty nasty, obviously.
Jack Sawyer, where you been all my life here, baby?
Yeah, he's making those strides. He's making those strides, and having that compliment outside JTT might take some pressure off of him.
He finally went full Dennis Reynolds. I'm a 5-star man. Because he finally played like a 5-star recruit for the first time ever in his career here. By far his best game. Like, it's not even close. He had 2.5 tackles for a loss on the season coming in. Had 3.5 on Saturday, including a strip sack, which was huge. The DBs look good. Proctor's back. We like to see that. It's unfortunate that Ransom's out for the year now, confirmed. We could definitely use him this coming Saturday. But, Casey, I don't think there's too much you can complain about there. Or special teams for once. Fielding, just driving them down the middle.
Yeah, nothing I can complain about on the defense. That freaking dude makes a 52-yarder or something?
54. Again, back-to-back weeks. The only points we give up are 54-yard field goals. They didn't have a snap inside our 30 on Saturday.
Yeah, that was complete domination, and that's exactly why I bet on the under, because I thought we might shut them out or, at worst, give up like 7.
Yeah. I think we both had the under, and I don't remember if I had the cover or not. I thought the number, I said 38-10. It was pretty damn close, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that was maybe a little concerning was those like 3 or 4 drives there where we were continually getting pinned inside of our 10, 15-yard line. And the play calling, again, it's like it's like he has 2 different playbooks. Like, okay, I get it. You're going to be more conservative when you're on that side of your field. But it was, you got to do something differently. And I just felt like 3 times in a row he wasn't it was just kind of, that was the only point in the game where I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. It's the only thing that slowed us down the first half was just our average starting field position, I believe, was the 9-yard line.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
I will say that's a great point. I was thinking when that was happening, like, this cannot happen against Scum.
Oh, yeah.
That plays
right.
close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that'll be a backbreaker. Because, yeah, if we can't sustain any sort of offense, I mean, it's going to be hard to drive 90 yards on anybody, let alone one of the top 5 defenses in the country. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cut, clean, dry. Another wrap it up, beat down a shitty Big Ten team from the western side of the conference. So we're ready to match up 11-0 versus 11-0, and we're going to talk about that in our next podcast, though. But as we always do, I guess at the end of these, we preview the next game. Did your national championship hopes go up, down, or even after this week? Casey, we'll start with you.
Mine, they went up because I think we're starting to really gel. McCord didn't play as good as he did against Michigan State, but Travion is giving me more confidence. And seeing Scum come back down to earth every game, basically, since they can't cheat anymore, they're looking more and more mortal.
Well put. Hoss.
In terms of where we want to go, I think it went up, but in terms of watching everybody else, the national landscape, I think it went down because I think other teams are hitting their stride at the right time. And I just think that Georgia, Oregon, Washington, even Bama, so I just think winning the national championship, probably down with everybody else getting really good.
Your first 2 are right there. The last 2, I'm still not too sure about that I would be concerned about playing them the way I am Oregon and Georgia. But I'd say mine stayed even. Kind of mixture of what you two said. National landscape, I'm not so sure we're winning the national championship this year just from what I've seen from other teams. But, from us, Travion looks better. That gives me way more confidence that we have 2 guys that are basically Heisman caliber players. But McCord, again, doesn't look great, and we know the home games are when he's looked good this year. I mean, even though his stats end up good, he was behind a lot of throws. He's late on a lot of throws again, and the ball placement's just not where it should be, but it ends up working out because we're playing an inferior team at home. On the road, though, that's where all of his picks have come. He's like only throwing 8 touchdowns, I think, on the road, too. Not giving me confidence that he's going to come in and play his best game against Scum next week. But, you know, with everybody else playing so well on the team, basically, and Fielding finally giving me some confidence in the kicking game, I feel that we do need to have him between the goalposts. If he's got to aim it, he's not been good this year. But if he doesn't have to aim it, he's got the leg, man. He got that 45-yarder was good from 55. Like, that was way up there. But that'll do it for this week. Thank God. It's over with. We're ready. It's time to play the fucking game. And we will preview that in our next podcast. But for the Hoss and Dyerwolf, I'm just Matt. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys very shortly.
Hey, guys. Whoa, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
A rich man's world.